Chapter 761, Celestial War Dragon. What? Did I hear it wrong? Everyone was baffled after hearing the thing that Xianjiu just said to King Kong. How was one going to fight without using both hands, legs, and eyes? All 3,000 pirates were dazed. Chen Xiaobei was the only one that could still look at him with a smile on his face. The way he put his faith in Xianjiu was like how Xianjiu put his faith in him. Of course, he still believed in his strength. The power of celestial cultivation. And no. I don't dare to fight with you. Even if I have 1,000 lives and 10,000 guts, I wouldn't dare to challenge you as well. Please. I beg you to spare my life. It seemed like King Kong knew that an elite with celestial cultivation was not to be messed with. Though Xianjiu told him that he was not going to use both of his hands, legs, and eyes to fight with him, he still did not dare to lay a finger on Xianjiu. The moment he regained his freedom from the white jade dragon box, he knelt on the ground and begun to kowtow at Xianjiu. It's useless to beg for your life now, Xianjiu said icily. He then closed his eyes and stood there proudly. Shin! 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 In an instant, all the swords and arrows of 3,000 pirates were drawn to Xianjiu. They were moving on their own. Sabers, swords, spears, and arrows ascended to the sky and flew to Xianjiu's back. Feeling fear crushing them, they got down on their knees before Xianjiu. Swoosh! Swoosh! Following by that, something more unbelievable happened right before their eyes. Streams and streams of gold, silver, bronze, and metal special chi flowed to Xianjiu from the sky and ground. This kind of chi was not the kind of chi that existed on one's body. It was gold chi of the 5 elements: gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. Fist share. Fist share. Fist share. The gold chi gathered and formed all the weapons that floated in the sky into 3 dragons. The dragon's horn, teeth, claws, and scales were formed dancing in the sky like real dragons. What the hell is going on? Am I dreaming? This is so scary. Can someone tell me what is going on right now? Oh God! Isn't that the work of a demon? I don't want to die yet. All 3,000 pirates were almost terrified to death. It was as if they could feel that they would be dragged into hell along with the demon. Mercy! Please spare my life! Amongst the enemies, King Kong was the only one that knew that Xianjiu was the one that formed the dragons. From the beginning until now, Xianjiu had not moved a single muscle. That was the most unique ability of an elite with celestial cultivation. When one achieved celestial cultivation, the person would be able to communicate with the elements with true chi. In other words, Xianjiu was borrowing the power of Mother Nature to defeat his enemy. Wind, rain, thunder, lightning. Gold, wood, water, fire. Snow and soil. These were the source of power that Xianjiu could make use of during a battle. Facing an elite with celestial cultivation, King Kong had to beg for his life. There was no way that he could defeat Xianjiu. Clearly, Xianjiu had no intention to show him any mercy and he did not deserve to live to see another day. Swoop! 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 All 3 dragons were sent crashing down on King Kong without Xianjiu moving a single muscle on his body. In an instant, King Kong was torn into pieces. Ding! Cultivation, early phase of celestial cultivation. Health, 70,000. Combat power, 70,000. What the F***? Is that the legendary celestial cultivation? That's incredible. Chen Xiaobei's blood rushed after he checked him out with his Nether Spirit Battle Scouter. Lu Ziwan's sword dragon was actually bigger and more majestic. However, its power can never compare with Xianjiu's sword dragon. Lu Ziwan uses true nirvana to gather tens of thousands of sword in a dragon. On the other hand, Bro Yu utilizes the power of Mother Nature to make all the weapons gather together to form a dragon. In other words, a single celestial war dragon from Xianjiu is powerful enough to defeat 100 sword dragons from Lu Ziwan. Good grief! Celestial cultivation is really powerful. Though he had just achieved true nirvana cultivation, he could not help but think of achieving celestial cultivation as soon as possible. Considering that the scripture of heaven and earth allowed Chen Xiaobei to use his true qi to the fullest, which could mean that Chen Xiaobei would be able to draw strength from all earthly things once he achieved celestial cultivation. That would be insanely powerful. Of course, that would only happen in the far future. In an instant, the unidentified remains of King Kong were left where he stood earlier. At lightning speed, those 3 dragons charged at all 3,000 pirates, turning into grim reapers, taking their lives. The place that the dragons passed by would leave blood and flesh on the ground. It was as if the pirates were made of tofu. Things that were made from gold element were sharp by nature, making killing others looked like a piece of cake. In an instant, all 3 dragons had turned this place into a living hell. Like harvesting a paddy field, a total of 3,000 pirates dropped dead. Chen Xiaobei and Xianjiu were not shaken by what they saw, instead they felt elated. Not only had they managed to make them paid for what they did to them, but also managed to do the world justice by wiping all these inhumane pirates off the face of the earth. Needless to say, Xianjiu's merit points had received a huge boost. Just by killing 3 core members and a dozen of pirates, Chen Xiaobei obtained 140,000 merit points. His current merit points were 2,300,000. Now, he still needed another 700,000 merit points to be promoted to the next level. At the same time, his luck and charm received a boost as well. Still, Xianjiu was just a person. He did not manage to kill all 3,000 of them. There were around 300 pirates that managed to escape from this place. Black Mamba got away. Xiaobei, you should bring Lin Xiang away from this place first. I will stay here and search the entire island. No matter what, I will find Black Mamba. Countless people are going to die if I let him live. This toxic tumor has to be eliminated. How are you going to search the entire island? Considering that the island is actually quite big. Chen Xiaobei nodded and asked. I still have to do it. I can save the trouble for you. I did say earlier that I'm going to destroy the entire island. And I'm going to do it now. Murderous intent reflected in Chen Xiaobei's eyes. But science told me gold is soft. Chapter 762, Drop the Bomb on Mamba Island. What are you planning to do? Asked Xianjiu in a curious manner. He knew that Chen Xiaobei would never make up something that he could never achieve. He must have had a plan in his mind. On the other hand, Lin Xiang had already calmed down. Growing from weak to strong was a process and it needed time to be completed. I need a runway for a fighter jet to take off. Around 300 meters. That is as long as a carrier. No problem. Considering that Xianjiu had spent a decent amount of time in Thunder Kirin, he knew exactly how a runway looked like. Clack! 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 With sheer will, 3 celestial war dragons transformed into a huge excavator arm and constructed a runway by destroying everything in front of it. 70,000 combat power and celestial cultivation were powerful enough to slice everything with ease. Within seconds, a 300-meter-long runway was built. All right. It's your show now, said Xianjiu with a smile. He then recalled the power that he acquired from the gold element and all the weapons fell to the ground immediately. All right. You guys should take a step back. An F-22 Raptor was summoned and presented in front of them when Chen Xiaobei swung his hand. Xiaobei. You are awesome. That is the most advanced fighter jet in America. Where did you acquire it? Xianjiu asked in surprise. Lin Xiang was baffled beyond words. She knew that Chen Xiaobei was a magician. The fact that he could summon a fighter jet out of nowhere completely blew her mind. I obtained this fighter jet from my enemies. This is awesome. But it still can't solve our problem. Mamba Island is actually quite big. We would need around 20 fighter jets if we want to bombard this entire island. Only 20? I have around 45 fighter jets with me. They are filled with enough ammunition and gasoline to complete the task. What? That's a lot of fighter jets. But, do you know how to fly a fighter jet? Even if you know how to fly a fighter jet, how are you going to control so many of them at the same time? Hehe. I'm not going to pilot any of them. Chen Xiaobei then took our great priest beans from the infinite space ring. 45 underworld soldiers were summoned after Chen Xiaobei tossed the great priest beans on the ground. All these underworld soldiers were absolutely loyal to Chen Xiaobei. Other than combating, they helped Chen Xiaobei to plant the first love peach on the Hardy Island in Green Vine City. In other words, they could do whatever Chen Xiaobei asked them to do. Clearly, Chen Xiaobei was going to ask them to become the pilots of the fighter jets. Though it was an extremely complicated task, Chen Xiaobei had already mastered the skill to fly a fighter jet. With that being said, all those underworld soldiers could do whatever Chen Xiaobei could do because they shared the same mind as him. This is insane, exclaimed Xianjiu. The first underworld soldier got into the fighter jet and Chen Xiaobei started to control it with his sheer will. With the help of the scholar heart, Chen Xiaobei managed to familiarize himself with the control of the fighter jet. Swoop! The first fighter jet took off successfully. The first time was always the hardest. Controlling the rest of the underworld soldiers to fly the rest of the fighter jets became an easy task. All 45 fighter jets were like eagles flying in the sky waiting to launch their attack on the target. With only an order, they would start bombarding the island. Let's fly into the sky as well. Chen Xiaobei brought Xianjiu and Lin Xiang on the somersault cloud and took off to the sky. Brother! I have not seen you for quite some time. Honestly, I'm impressed by what you can do. Feeling excited, Xianjiu was truly happy for Chen Xiaobei's improvement. Xiaobei! Am I dreaming? Taken aback, Lin Xiang started to doubt everything that she experienced was just a dream. To an ordinary person, it was hard for them to believe and understand such a magical moment. Just see this as a dream. Promise me that you won't tell anyone about this. This dream is going to get noisy. I would suggest you cover your ears. Okay. Immediately, Lin Xiang nodded and covered her ears. Boom. 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 Seconds later, all 45 fighter jets got into position and begun to bombard the island. Missiles were unleashed upon the island one after another. In an instant, the entire island became a sea of fire. Ding! You have eliminated a villain. You have received 1000 merit points. Ding! You have eliminated a first-generation villain. You have received. Ding! Eliminated a villain. Chen Xiaobei was awarded a good amount of merit points when he bombarded the island with the fighter jets. In other words, all the pirates that managed to escape earlier were now being killed by the fighter jets. Ding! You have eliminated a 7th-generation villain. You have received 70,000 merit points. A special message popped out. The merit points that Chen Xiaobei received from this sole person were more than all those other pirates that he killed. Black Mamba is dead. Great! You are always good at dealing with matters like this. Feeling joyful, Xianjiu let out a sigh of relief. The problem bothering him was resolved. Likewise, Lin Xiang felt the same as well. The happiest person among them was Chen Xiaobei. Other than the 70,000 merit points that he obtained from Black Mamba, he received a good amount of merit points from killing around 300 pirates as well. In total, he earned 200,000 merit points after this incident. Ding! Your current merit points is 2,570,000. You will need another 430,000 merit points to be promoted to the next level. Charm, 257,000. Luck, 257,000. This is incredible. The Lunar New Year is just around the corner. There will be a flood of red envelopes in the red envelope group during the eve of the New Year. Look at my luck. I'm pretty sure I can snatch a good amount of red envelopes. Ahaha. And Ling Yu the heroine is going to be shown in the cinema during the first day of the New Year. With my charm, I will be able to add another wave of fans to my fan club. I'm going to become a superstar when there are millions of fans in my fan club. Wahahaha. The most important thing is my Saifu is going to bring me something awesome during that time. Chen Xiaobei could not help but wish that the Lunar New Year could come faster. Chapter 763, Xian Jiayu is jealous. Just like what Xian Jiayu said earlier, 20 fighter jets were more than enough to turn the entire island into ashes. However, Chen Xiaobei brought out 45 fighter jets instead to make sure there were no survivors on the island. Right after that, Chen Xiaobei kept all 45 fighter jets into his infinite space ring and brought Xian Jiayu and Lin Xiang back to Faka's yacht. At that moment, the three people on the yacht were left in a state of bewilderment, standing there rooted to the spot. Oh my god! Master Messenger! How did you do it? That is just unbelievable! Fakar was the first one to regain his composure. He could not help but yelp in astonishment. When there were no outsiders, Fakar and Hades would call Chen Xiaobei their master. However, when there were outsiders around them, they would call Chen Xiaobei Master Messenger. After all, Fakar came from the Rothschild family. His family would never allow him to become someone else's servant. If others knew about it, a lot of unnecessary trouble would come looking for Chen Xiaobei. Hades and Fakar were both smart men. They knew exactly what to do in situations like this. Master Messenger! Did you encounter that evil spirit formation? How did you get back here, unharmed? A sane person would never get close to that formation. Just like Fakar, Hades was baffled. Though he was an elite with pinnacle phase of true nirvana stage, he still did not dare to get close to that formation. No matter how smart he was, he would have never thought that the Wrath Bolt ring on Chen Xiaobei's finger was the item that he used to dispel the evil spirit formation. The evil spirit formation was nothing but a piece of garbage to Chen Xiaobei. Of course, the person that experienced the most shock was Lebron. His body was drenched in cold sweat and he looked extremely pale. That is unbelievable. All 45 fighter jets took off at the same time. Judging from the explosion just now, it was more than enough to destroy the entire island. Master Messenger! Are you a real god? Lebron asked fearfully. It's hard to believe that you just flew all 45 fighter jets by yourself. Alone. In such a short period of time, you eliminated this tumor that every country hates. Everyone will definitely take turns to thank you if they know about it. And all the countries in the world will glorify this good deed that you just accomplished. The Nobel Prize for Peace belongs to no one else but you. The way Lebron looked at Chen Xiaobei was filled with respect and fear. It was as if Chen Xiaobei was a merciful savior that was sent down from heaven to bring them salvation. You should mind your own business. There are certain things that you can't tell others about. Otherwise, things would not end well for you, said Chen Xiaobei coldly. Lebron was not given a heavenly dog biscuit. That was why Chen Xiaobei had to give him a fair warning. Fortunately, Lebron had already treated Chen Xiaobei as his god. There was no way that he would disobey Chen Xiaobei. He clearly knew that he would not end up well if he went against a god. Without wasting too much time, all of them traveled back to Paradise Island promptly. On the other hand, Cao Zhenyang and his colleague were waiting for Chen Xiaobei at the best hotel on Paradise Island, feeling nervous and anxious. Brother Cao. Do you think Mr. Chen is doing all right? It's been quite some time since he left, asked Fang Yuqiang while frowning. Her palms were filled with sweat. I'm not sure about it as well. I should have gone with him. This is our mission. Letting him go and fight the war alone is not right. I feel regret now. You are right. I hope Mr. Chen can come back to us unharmed. If not, I will feel bad for the rest of my life, said Fang Kangyan. I hope that Mr. Chen can return safely as well. However, he is gone for quite some time. So far, there's no news about him. Could he be? Said Feng Subin. Shut up. Do not talk nonsense. Just stay here. Let me go and ask about him again, scolded Cao Zhenyang. Clack. The door was unlocked and they saw Chen Xiaobei, Lin Xiang, and Xian Jiahu standing outside. They could not believe their eyes. They are back. All of them are here, unharmed. Look at them. There are no injuries on them. This is great. All thanks to Mr. Chen. Without him, we wouldn't know where to look for them. I'm happy that they managed to return to us safely. Cao Zhenyang and the rest of them were stunned for 2 seconds. They then started to celebrate their safe return joyfully. The objective of their mission was supposed to look for Xian Jiahu and Lin Xiang. Seeing that Xian Jiahu and Lin Xiang were here, unharmed, their mission could be considered complete. That was why they were so happy about it. Needless to say, Chen Xiaobei was the one that they should give thanks to. Cao Zhenyang and the rest of them now treated Chen Xiaobei as their hero. After that, Cao Zhenyang reported the whole thing back to his superior. He talked about how Bisi and Pakaka made their lives difficult and Yan Kongming betraying them. Of course, Cao Zhenyang did emphasize that Chen Xiaobei was the one that helped them to complete this mission. What did the general say? Everyone looked at Cao Zhenyang with curiosity. General told us to hand Lin Xiang over to Title Ancient Faction. We are supposed to escort Yan Kongming back to the court-martial. Cao Zhenyang then put away his cell phone and grinned. General also mentioned that he would like to represent the entire Thunder Kirin Special Squad to give thanks to Chen Xiaobei. He even told me to tell Xiaobei that he wants to go for a drinking session with him. Upon hearing that, the crowd was elated once more. Mr. Chen, you make us proud. It is so rare that the general wants to show his gratitude to you personally. Bring in the Thunder Kirin Special Squad for 3 years, I have never seen something like this, said Fang Yuqiang. Ain't that right? I too have never seen that the general takes such huge interest in one person. The alcohol that he is going to serve Chen Xiaobei is going to be legendary. Not many people get the chance to taste it, added Fang Kangyan. Among us, Boss Yang is the only one that has gotten the chance to have a taste of it, said Feng Subin while nodding. Immediately, all of them shifted their attention to Xian Jiahu. They were eager to hear Xian Jiahu tell them about the taste of the alcohol. What a stingy old bastard! All he gave me was a cup of sweet plum wine. And now he wants to drink with Xiaobei? This is unfair. Haha. Boss Yang. Are you jealous? Ha ha ha. Everyone laughed. Are you guys looking for some beating? Xian Jiahu could not help but laugh together with them. Likewise, Chen Xiaobei was enjoying this cheerful post-war session with them. Ring. Fakar was calling Xiaobei. Chapter 764, Super Auction. Seemingly, Fakar had already completed one of the tasks given by Chen Xiaobei. He wanted to invite Chen Xiaobei to go over to talk about it. Initially, Chen Xiaobei wanted to do some naughty stuff with Lin Xiang. However, Title Ancient Faction had already waited for Lin Xiang for 7 days. Left with no other option, Xian Jiahu had to escort Lin Xiang to Title Ancient Faction as soon as possible. Also, Lin Xiang was determined to become more powerful. That was why she chose to set aside her romantic relationship with Chen Xiaobei. The next time she met Chen Xiaobei, she did not want to become a burden anymore. She then took the initiative to plant a kiss on Chen Xiaobei's face before leaving the place with Xian Jiahu. On the other hand, Chen Xiaobei had to prioritize meeting with Fakar. Before meeting Fakar, Chen Xiaobei asked someone to bring Cao Zhenyang and the rest of them to have fun on Paradise Island. At the central part of Paradise Island. Inside Faka's white castle. When Chen Xiaobei saw that there was no one around him, he took out his white jade dragon box. Oh God! This really is a piece of 10,000-year-old ambergris. Upon seeing the item that was placed inside the box, Fakar and Hades let out a yelp. All this while, Fakar had invested countless money, manpower, time, and resources to look for the ambergris. Unfortunately, their efforts were futile. To them, this piece of 10,000-year-old ambergris was like a priceless treasure. Not too long ago, Chen Xiaobei received a 10,000-year-old ambergris from the giant serpent. Naturally, Fakar was really jealous of it. He could never imagine that Chen Xiaobei could get his hand on another piece of ambergris in such a short period of time. Master! This piece of ambergris. How did you acquire it? Fakar asked. Immediately, Fakar straightened up his ears to listen to Chen Xiaobei's reply like a curious baby. Hee. You guys might not believe in what I'm about to tell you. I was slapped by a woman and it led to an interesting incident. This jade box right here is a spiritual item. The 10,000-year-old ambergris was placed inside it. What? Upon hearing that, Fakar and Hades were left in a state of bewilderment. Both of them had worked really hard to look for a piece of ambergris. Hades and Fakar simple could not imagine how lucky Chen Xiaobei was. Considering the effort that they invested in looking for the ambergris, the two of them were so jealous of Chen Xiaobei that they wanted to kill themselves. Because of the heavenly dog biscuit, the two of them would hope for the best for Chen Xiaobei but not themselves. Knowing that Chen Xiaobei managed to acquire another piece of ambergris, they were really happy for him as well. However, the next thing Chen Xiaobei said made them almost faint in shock. I'm planning to sell this ambergris. He said it in such a calm manner, as though it was not a piece of treasure. Master! Are you kidding me? Fakar and Hades had witnessed a lot of baffling incidents in their lives. Still, they were very surprised when Chen Xiaobei mentioned that he wanted to sell the ambergris. Do I look like I'm kidding? Said Chen Xiaobei in a serious manner. A 10,000-year-old ambergris is really hard to come by. Why would you want to sell it? Currently, I have 30,000 combat power. With the help of Primordial Witch King Combat Training Manual, I can boost my combat power to 39,000. However, I have only 30,000 health. I don't think my body can withstand such high combat power. I know that this piece of ambergris will give me a 3,000 combat power boost. It will be meaningless if I can't utilize all the combat power. That is why I decided to sell this piece of ambergris. Of course, I'm not looking for money. I want more spiritual stones. I can boost my health if I have enough spiritual chi. Besides, I can use it to activate soul-consuming enigmatic jade and grow more hexworms. All these things that I can do are far more meaningful than possessing a piece of ambergris. After Chen Xiaobei explained to them, Fakar and Hades finally understood the reason why Chen Xiaobei wanted to sell the ambergris. Master is right. Let me arrange an auction for you. With my connections, I can bring in a lot of potential buyers. Now, the problem: what should be the starting bid of this piece of ambergris? What do you think? Asked Chen Xiaobei. Fakar was after all the kind of person that stood at the top of the food chain. In truth, Chen Xiaobei did not know their spending habits. Generally speaking, a spiritual stone can increase around 100 combat power in around 3 months. That vary from person to person. A piece of 10,000-year-old ambergris can increase 3,000 combat power. That is equivalent to 300 spiritual stones. However, ambergris allows a person to have a boost of 3,000 combat power instantly. On the other hand, a person needs around 900 months to fully convert 300 spiritual stones to combat power. Even the most talented person needs around 3 to 5 years to complete the training. From here you can see time is everything here. That is why ambergris is far more valuable than spiritual stones. One can save years from it. And we only get to live for a couple of decades. When someone gets older, they will start to value time more than anything else. Using the resources that they have to buy time is their biggest wish. So, I think you can at least earn 10 times of the starting piece of this piece of ambergris. With that being said, you can set the bidding price at 3,000 spiritual stones. Every single bid that they make is 100 spiritual stones. According to my estimation, I think you can at least make 6,000 spiritual stones from selling this ambergris. Great. All set. I will be so happy if I can earn 6,000 spiritual stones from it. Master. Don't get overexcited. 6,000 spiritual stones is just a rough estimation. I will promote this auction to everyone that I know. Everyone that can afford it will join the auction. The price might increase if there are a lot of people fighting for it, said Fakar with a smile. When are you planning to organize the auction? I need some time to promote this auction. And I need to provide those potential buyers with enough time to travel here. I heard the Lunar New Year is just around the corner. Why not we set it on the first day of the new year? First day? But I have to go home to celebrate New Year. You can bring your family to Paradise Island to celebrate this festive season. I can provide your family with all the top-class enjoyment. Good idea. Let's do it. Chapter 765, I'm not ready yet. Upon returning to Dragon City, Chen Xiaobei made a trip back to Beixian faction. All three mother-child hexworms had finished their growing process. Immediately, Chen Xiaobei put them into the empty bottles of 100 herbs potion. Following by that, Chen Xiaobei contacted his family and told them that they were going to celebrate New Year at Paradise Island. All of his family members agreed with the decision that Chen Xiaobei just made. His parents, Xiaobai, Sirius, Xianjiu, Old Wang, Murong Xiaoao, Jinlu, Wenai Yuan, Murong Tian, Feng Qiniang, and Keng Jinggu were all part of his family. They would follow Chen Xiaobai wherever he went during the Lunar New Year. Other than that, Lan Mengcheng would definitely go back Green Vine City to celebrate Chinese New Year with her family. Lin Nan also wanted to celebrate this festive season with Dr. Lin. Lastly, Luo Puti and Elder Luo had close relatives at Dragon City. Seemingly, they would not want to celebrate the Lunar New Year at the other places. Besides, Chen Xiaobei did contact two of his good friends from Green Vine City. Fire Boss and Jin Fei had promised him that they were more than willing to travel to Paradise Island. As for the most handsome man in Green Vine City, Wu Junfan rejected Chen Xiaobei once he heard that Lan Mengcheng was going to stay in Green Vine City during Chinese New Year. Lastly, Chen Xiaobei called Song Qinchenj. Xiaobei, how did you know that I'm looking for you? You called me at the right time. Song Qinchenj exclaimed excitedly. Something good happened? I'm so happy to hear your voice. Of course. Haven't you checked your Weibo? Within these few days, the number of your fans have increased to 10 million. 10 million already? Hee. That is faster than I expected, said Chen Xiaobei while smiling. It was as if this good news was below expectation. Considering that his charm was boosted recently and the trailer of Ling Yu the heroine was all over the internet now, it was only logical that Chen Xiaobei's fans would increase tremendously. Why are you not happy? Do you know what does 10 million fans mean? I really don't know. That means you are now a superstar. Comparable to those super famous celebrities. You have to know that you are now as famous as Zhuang Bufan. When Ling Yu the heroine is screened in the cinemas, your popularity can definitely surpass him. Zhuang Bufan? That piece of shit still breathing, said Chen Xiaobei disdainfully. He obviously did not want to be put in comparison with him. Yet, he is still breathing. He has recovered from the severe injuries that he suffered last time. And Zhuang Entertainment does not mind to reinvesting in him. That is why he managed to regain his popularity in the entertainment industry. Besides, I heard that the Zhuang family asked the most famous alchemist for help. Because of the spiritual pill, he was able to regain his strength in a short period of time. Do you really think he has recovered? Asked Chen Xiaobei in a playful manner. It's real. I saw him a few days ago acting in a new movie. He was looking really arrogant. New movie? What's his role? Eunuch. Eunuch? What do you mean by that? Quit with the suspense. Tell me the whole thing. Song Qinchenj was smart enough to know that Chen Xiaobei was hiding something from her. I had already bashed his dick to a pulp. With Huangfu Momon's alchemy skill, he is definitely not skillful enough to help him to regrow his dick. So Zhuang Bufan is not a man nor woman. The eunuch role suits him the best. Ha ha ha. You are so mean. Those who offend you will not end well. The meaner the men are, the more women will go after them. Am I right? PSST. Stop being so narcissistic. Who is in love with you again? Let's get back to serious business. I have something important to tell you. Okay. You can tell me now. The Lunar New Year is just around the corner. The movie, Ling Yu the Heroine, is going to be screened in cinemas on the first day of the Lunar New Year. Initially, I wanted to do what you told me, postpone all the publicity campaigns and business trips. However, the speed of your popularity is just too fast. Some of the big shots from the entertainment industry want to know you better. I'm afraid you might lose your popularity if you reject them again and again. Your fans will think that you are too proud. And those big shots would think that you are an arrogant person. That is definitely not a good thing. There will be a huge-scale meet and greet event for fans tomorrow. Quite a number of big shots will attend this event as well. Maybe, you should consider it. I can promise you that it will not take too much of your time. Okay. I will do whatever you ask me to do. In truth, Chen Xiaobei had never bothered how others looked at him. The thing that concerned him was Song Qinchenj being stuck in between of the people from the entertainment industry and fans. It was his job to help his woman reduce her work stress. Upon hearing that, Song Qinchenj let out a sigh of relief. I'm glad that you said yes to it. I was afraid that you would not have time to attend this event. Now that this problem is solved, it's my turn to tell you something important. On the eve of the Lunar New Year, I would like to invite you to come and celebrate with my family. I have planned out everything. With your family? Asked Song Qinchenj in surprise. Yes. My parents and best friends will be there. All of a sudden, Song Qinchenj did not know what to say to Chen Xiaobei. It seemed like Chen Xiaobei had an idea why Song Qinchenj would act in such a manner. Are you now in your office? Yes. Without a second thought, Chen Xiaobei jumped on the somersault cloud and flew to her. He did not hang up. On the other side, Song Qinchenj was standing beside her table, frozen. It was as if she was in deep thought. Pumpkin. Please open the door. Suddenly, Chen Xiaobei's voice could be heard from her cell phone. Hey? Open the door. I'm talking about your office's door. What? You are now standing in front of my office. How is that even possible? Her heart melted when she opened the door. The man that she thought about earlier was now right in front of her. It was all like a dream to her. Are you not going to invite me into your office? Quick! Come in. Feeling nervous, Song Qinchenj realized that her employees were looking at her. Immediately, she pulled Chen Xiaobei into the office and locked the door. How did you come here? I thought you told me earlier that you just got back to Dragon City. I missed you. That's why I came here. You should have told me earlier. I did not have enough to prepare myself. Prepare yourself. I bought sexy lingerie. Unfortunately, I did not put it on today. Song Qinchenj strode towards Chen Xiaobei and whispered into Chen Xiaobei's ears. His mouth felt dry as something within him erupted. He glanced down at her legs and said, "Black stockings ain't that bad too. Perv. Move your hands away from me. Don't. This is an office. There are still people working outside my office. Woman, you were clearly asking for it. Chapter 766, Azure Witch's Evil Plan. After a few rounds of bed wars, Chen Xiaobei and Song Qinchenj finally settled down. With Song Qinchenj lying in his embrace on the couch, Chen Xiaobei took in the fragrance she released. Why did you stop talking all of a sudden on the phone just now? Chen Xiaobei tuned his head and looked at the masterpiece. On her delicate and soft skin was a layer of sweat. During their love-making session, Chen Xiaobei ripped off her black stockings, leaving her killer legs laying on top of him. Being able to make love to such masterpiece was definitely the dream of most men in this world. A smirk could be seen on Chen Xiaobei's face when he thought about it. I did say something. I have some other business that I need to attend during the Lunar New Year. I don't think I can celebrate this festive season with you. Tell me the truth. With her lips pursed, Song Qinchenj looked into Chen Xiaobei's eyes. After putting some thought into it, she finally decided to tell him the truth. I just want to become your secret lover. I don't want to get involved in your life. I'm after all a divorced woman. I don't think your parents will like me. And I'm pretty sure your friends will talk behind my back. Pumpkin. I knew you would think like this. I have told you earlier that you are my woman. And I'm proud to tell everyone about this. What are you afraid of? But I'm not ready. I don't know how to face your parents and friends. Song Qinchenj usually ruled with an iron fist. When it came to matters like this, she turned into a timid woman. Suddenly, Chen Xiaobei realized that there were no barriers between him and his family. On the other hand, Song Qinchenj was just a stranger to them. Showing up without giving them any notice would definitely cause awkwardness. I have an idea. I will tell them that you are just my colleague. And there's no one there to celebrate New Year with you. In that case, you will be able to blend into my family without issues. By that time, I will introduce you to my friends and family. Get close to them and I will choose the right time to tell them about the nature of our relationship. Okay. This is a good idea. Little brother. You are so smart. Song Qinchenj could finally smile. She gave him a peck on the cheek. You are not allowed to call me your little brother anymore. I'm not that little actually. Startled at first, Song Qinchenj's face flushed because she could understand what Chen Xiaobei was trying to tell her. Perv, she said playfully. Look at your face. Are you hinting that I should do some naughty stuff to you? No more. I have important things to deal with tomorrow. Walking will be a problem if we do it again. Can't walk? You man is stronger than that. I'm not saying that you are weak. You are like a freaking bull. I'm worried that I won't be able to walk tomorrow if we do it again. Immediately, Song Qinchenj left Chen Xiaobei's embrace. She was afraid that Chen Xiaobei might push her on her office table and make love to her again. After experiencing multiple orgasms, Song Qinchenj could feel that her legs were wobbly. As the room was filled with Chen Xiaobei and Song Qinchenj's scent, she opened the window to disperse it. Right after that, she hastened Chen Xiaobei to leave the office as soon as possible. Recently, Chen Xiaobei was much occupied. He did not even have time to go home to see his parents. Today, he was finally available. Immediately, he told his parents that he was going to have dinner with them. During the dinner, he was nagged by his mother to get married and have kids. On the other hand, Murong Xiaoao still loved arguing with him. She was taking on Chen Xiaobei's mother's side and took the chance to criticize him. Actually, it was none of her business, but it seemed like she was enjoying herself. Xiaobai and Sirius complained to Chen Xiaobei that they had not seen Luo Puti for quite some time. They also wanted to have a taste of First Love Peach as well. Luckily, there was still a little fan club led by Chen Xiaobei's father in the family. His father, Old Wang, Murong Tian, Jin Lu, and Kang Jinggu had become Chen Xiaobei's biggest fans. All of them had watched Ling Yu the heroine's trailer more than 10 times. However, Chen Xiaobei's mom told him that they actually wanted to watch Tang Menguan, not the movie. While chatting with them during dinner, Chen Xiaobei realized that it was true that they became his real fans. They were discussing the movies among themselves fervently. Finally, the complaints were reduced when they switched topics. The second day, Chen Xiaobei got up before the sun rose. He promised Song Qinchenj that he would make an effort to meet up with his fans. There were makeup artists waiting for him when he arrived at the designated location. He was transformed into a superstar from top to bottom. On the other hand, Song Qinchenj were here early as well. She wanted to deal with most of the things personally. This was the very first time Chen Xiaobei met up with his movie fans. That was why a huge number of them were waiting outside the door before the event started. Within 5 minutes when the door opened, all seats in hallway were filled with people. Luckily, there was a special path designed for the big shots and reporters. If not, they would not be able to squeeze into this place. At 10 in the morning, the event finally started. Chen Xiaobei, Feng Yalun, Tang Menguan, and other important personnel took turns to go on stage. Actually, there was nothing special about this event. First, they talked about the things that they've been through during the production. After that, the floor was opened to the fans for them to ask questions. Chen Xiaobei was after the star of the show. Naturally, all the questions that they asked revolved around him. Because of his popularity, most of the people that attended this event were his die-hard fans. At the same time, the viewers that watched this event from their homes had increased to 2 million. In one of the mansion at the western side of the city, there were 3 people watching this live event. Mother Fasterisker. Son of a bitch. He just got into the entertainment industry not too long ago. He is now more popular than me. Zhuang Bufan gritted his teeth and threw his expensive Cuban cigar on the floor. He then crushed it with his feet. Bufan. There's no need to get angry over him. As long as I can gather enough evidence to prove that he is not a demigod, I will kill him to avenge you, said Zhuang Juxiao while passing another cigar to Zhuang Bufan. I have done what you told me to do. During the dinner last night, I did what Director Zhou asked me to do. Don't expect me to trust you if this whole thing falls apart. Although they were cousins, they were not on good terms. You can choose not to trust me. But you must trust Azure Witch. He is an S-class assassin. Upon hearing that, the skinny old man beside him smirked and as murderous intent exuded from gaze. Chapter 767, Tang Menguan's Decision. All the fans were dismissed when the meet and greet event ended. Chen Xiaobei and the rest of them then adjourned to the lounge backstage. Everyone. This event is a huge success. Judging from the response of different media platforms, I think we did a good job at promoting the movie. It is better than all the promotions that we did before. This is exactly the result that we expected. Look at how excited the audiences behaved just now. From there, I can feel that the promotion was a major success. Bro Chen's fans are crazy about him, said the other assistant director. Considering that Chen Xiaobei was the main male character in the movie and was fully supported by Qin Cheng Entertainment, most of the people in the film base addressed him as Bro Bei other than Feng Yalun and Tang Menguan. Right? I have worked as an actor for more than a decade. This is my first time seeing fans behave so passionately and excitedly toward an actor, said the other male actor. It all thanks to Bro Bei's fan club. Xiaobei is the one that brought about this huge success. With his popularity, I'm pretty many would come and watch our movie, said Tang Menguan with a smile on her face while shooting a lovely gaze at Chen Xiaobei's direction. Sister Tang. I'm flattered by your compliment. You are definitely more popular than me. There's still a long way for me to go, said Chen Xiaobei while shaking his head. Chen Xiaobei was not overwhelmed with joy or shaken by the goddess's compliments. His state of mind had grown a lot ever since he achieved true nirvana stage. To be completely honest, an achievement like this was not enough to bring him satisfaction. People had to grow eventually. Chen Xiaobei had already transformed from a boy to a man. Tang Mengguan's face fell a little after his nonchalant response. Could it be I'm not charming enough for him? Or maybe he's with Song Qinchenj? Just like what the rumors say. Tang Mengguan wished she could have met such a perfect man earlier. Everyone, please come over here for a while. A group of people walked toward them with a smile while Tang Mengguan was stuck deep in thought. The ones that were right in front were Song Qinchenj and an old man with white hair. Oh my! Director Zhou. To what do I owe the pleasure? Earlier, I was thinking to pay you a visit personally. I'm really sorry that you have to come here personally. Immediately, Feng Yalun jumped from the sofa and greeted Director Zhou. At the same time, everyone included Tang Mengguan stood and hurried to the entrance. It seemed that all of them held this old man in high regard. Needless to say, this old man was no ordinary person and he seemed nice as well. Otherwise, all of them would not treat him so politely. Feeling curious, Chen Xiaobei stood and went and checked out the old man as well. Who is Chen Xiaobei? I'm here to see his young hero today, said the old man with a casual smile. Everyone shifted their attention to Chen Xiaobei in surprise. The fact that this old man came to see Chen Xiaobei personally was definitely a great honor. None of the people in the room could even dream of enjoying such royal treatment. There must be a reason why this old man would call Chen Xiaobei a young hero. At that moment, everyone was extremely envious of him. After knowing that the old man was here to meet Chen Xiaobei, Tang Mengguan felt even more disappointed. In actuality, she did not mind being the one pursuing Chen Xiaobei. Not only was he good at many things, but his background also seemed pretty impressive. As long as she could become his woman, she would not have to worry about her future anymore. Unfortunately, it seemed like Chen Xiaobei was not interested in her. Tang Mengguan was actually thinking about becoming bolder and worked harder to make Chen Xiaobei like her. She did not mind becoming his mistress. No. No way. I'm a goddess. The most famous actress in the entertainment industry. How can I consider to become someone's mistress? Promptly, Tang Mengguan shook her head to eliminate the ridiculous thought in her mind. Let me do the introductions. Song Qinchenj hinted Chen Xiaobei to get close before she introduced the old man to him. This is the director of the State Administration of Press, Publication, Radio, Film, and Television of China, Zhou Jianjun. The current director. Taken aback, Chen Xiaobei still remembered the director that used to work together with Shi Hoxiang to kill him. Unfortunately, the two of them ended up being killed by Chen Xiaobei. It was only right for the government to appoint a new director. However, this man seemed to be too old to be in this position. He should be enjoying retirement right now. Seeing that Chen Xiaobei was puzzled, Song Qinchenj quickly explained the whole thing to him. Initially, Director Zhou was supposed to retire. He used to be a military secretary. After some time, he managed to work all the way up to become the chief secretary in the military. Due to recent events, he was called to become the Director of State Administration of Press, Publication, Radio, Film, and Television. After hearing Song Qinchenj's explanation, Chen Xiaobei could ascertain that this old man was not his enemy. He then strode towards to the old man and took the initiative to shake his hand. Director Zhou is one of the leaders of this country. I'm really flattered that you'd come all the way here to meet me, Chen Xiaobei said politely. No. Not at all. You are too humble. My ex-boss told me that he wants to drink with you. It is only right for me to come and meet you personally. Ex-boss. Everything suddenly clicked. This old man used to work in the military. That was why he knew that the general of Thunder Kirin Special Squad wanted to drink with him. Knowing that rescuing Xian Jiu and Lin Xiang was not a simple mission, not only did it protect the honor of Thunder Kirin Special Squad, but it also protected the safety of the entire nation. If something bad happened to Lin Xiang, Dr. Lin's research would be interrupted. and the work that he did was closely related to the security of this country. In other words, Chen Xiaobei had all the right in the world to enjoy a drinking session with the general and accept the fact that Zhou Jianjun came and met him personally. Considering the fact that Zhou Jianjun was no ordinary person, his ex-boss must be some kind of legendary character. The way the crowd looked at Chen Xiaobei changed immediately. They were now looking at him in a fearfully. I don't care anymore. I don't mind becoming a mistress. No matter what, I have decided that I will pursue Chen Xiaobei. Swoosh. Suddenly, a dagger was retrieved from Zhou Jianjun's sleeve with the intention of slitting Chen Xiaobei's throat. Chapter 768, Instant Face-Slapping Moment. Swoosh. With the dagger ringing the air, it was a swift attack. Based on his appearance, Zhou Jianjun might look old, however, he served in the military before and was thus far more agile than most regular folk. The force that he imbued into the dagger was powerful enough to decapitate one's head. Also, the speed of the attack was so fast that everyone around him could not trace the movement of the dagger. The most important thing was Chen Xiaobei did not expect that Zhou Jianjun would attack all of a sudden. Besides, the attack was within his range. There was no way that Chen Xiaobei could dodge this attack. Fist share. Chen Xiaobei fell to the ground when the dagger landed on his throat. What the hell is going on? Most of the people started screaming hysterically when they realized Zhou Jianjun killed Chen Xiaobei. Director Zhou. Director Zhou just killed Bro Chen. Quick! Stop him! If not, he is going to hurt more people. It was a complete mayhem. Immediately, a few actors and Zhou Jianjun's bodyguards charged at him, took away his dagger and pushed him to the ground. How did this happen? Xiaobei! Xiaobei! Immediately, Song Qinchenj dashed toward Chen Xiaobei. Is he dead? What is going on right now? It was as though Tang Menguan was struck by lightning. She could not believe fate's cruel joke on her. In the mansion of the western side of the city, the scene of Chen Xiaobei being killed by Zhou Jianjun was played on the TV. However, the quality of the video was mediocre. It seemed like someone was using a cell phone to record the incident. What the f***ck? What the hell just happened? Why would Director Zhou attack Chen Xiaobei? This is unbelievable. Zhuang Bufan was so shocked that his eyeballs almost popped out from its sockets. Hee. That is the secret skill of Mr. Azure Witch, hexing tame head. Those affected by his tame head will turn into his puppet. And he can do whatever he likes with them. Although Mr. Azure Witch's combat power is not that high, he managed to work all his way up to become an S-tier assassin with only this skill. So far, he has never failed any single mission. You have to know that I have spent a huge amount of money to hire him to kill Chen Xiaobei. Upon hearing that, the old man that sat beside him looked smug. What an incredible skill! With it, he could dominate the entire world. Immediately, Zhuang Bufan gave him a thumbs up as a compliment. Brother Zhuxiao, I thank you for making the bastard to pay for what he did to me. I'm now more than willing to pay half of the fees that Mr. Azure Witch asked for. There's no need of that. Our grandmother is more than willing to pay the fees. And she will definitely reward me abundantly as well. Why is that? Zhuang Bufan knew that his grandmother was really strict. There was no way that she would reward someone that committed murder. I don't think you know about this. Our grandmother wanted to kill this son of a bitch for a very long time. The last time we wanted to kill him, he put fear in us by acting like a demigod. Considering that she did not dare to kill him, she will be delighted when she knows that I have already done her a favor by killing him. That is why I'm pretty sure that she will reward me abundantly. With that being said, you actually did something great for the family. Please don't forget about me if you become her most trusted person. Zhuang Bufan said enviously. Of course. Back to serious business. Have you ever wondered if his claim to be a demigod is real? What would you do then? There's no if in my dictionary. I will never believe that he is a demigod. Do you really think he can be killed easily if he is the real deal? I will go to the toilet and eat shit if he gets up right now. Cousin. Juxiao. That kid just stood up. Taken aback, Zhuang Bufan pointed at the TV and stammered over the words. How is that even possible? Immediately, Zhuang Juxiao turned around and looked at the TV. Seconds ago, he was acting like a tough guy. However, the fact that Chen Xiaobei was still alive made him a complete fool. They saw that Chen Xiaobei stood up with no visible injuries on him. He even started to walk toward the person that used the phone to record the whole thing. This is impossible. Not possible. Zhuang Juxiao was left in a state of bewilderment. Earlier, he mentioned that he would go to the toilet and eat shit if Chen Xiaobei managed to survive the attack. Now, his promise had turned into countless of invisible slaps on his face. He was so ashamed that he wanted to dig a hole and hide in it. What the hell is going on? The arrogant assassin finally stood up. Clearly, he was baffled and shocked that Chen Xiaobei was not dead. Back in the lounge. Hand it to me. Chen Xiaobei wanted to snatch the phone from the person. Once the person realized he was found out by Chen Xiaobei, he had every intention to flee from the scene as soon as possible. Stay here. Immediately, Chen Xiaobei grabbed his shirt and threw him to the corner of the wall. Someone please keep an eye on him. No. You can't do this to me. I've not done anything to cause harm to you. You have no right to ask me to stay here. The person cried out innocently. Everyone was doing something to keep everything in order when I collapsed to the ground just now. You are the only person that was holding a camera to record everything. And now you are telling me that you are innocent. Stop lying. For now, Chen Xiaobei could not be bothered with him. He strode toward Zhou Jianjun and shouted, Everyone! Get away from him! A domineering presence was emanating from him. Unconsciously, those that pinned him down got up and left him to Chen Xiaobei. Ah! Shouting angrily, Zhou Jianjun attempted to jump at Chen Xiaobei. Pack! 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 Being more prepared this time, Chen Xiaobei hit 3 of Zhou Jianjun's vital points at lightning speed. Ugh! Zhou Jianjun then lost all his strength and grew unconscious. What is going on? Upon witnessing that, everyone was looking at Chen Xiaobei in shock. None of them could figure out what Chen Xiaobei just did to him. Director Zhou is affected by Tame Head. It's some kind of black magic. After that, Chen Xiaobei walked towards the person that did the recording. Are you going to tell me who's behind this incident? Or should I find it out by myself? I daren't say, said the person while shaking his head with cold sweat dripping down his forehead. Not going to tell me, right? I will call the police then. After all, this phone belongs to you. Feel free to bear the blame for your master, said Chen Xiaobei while swinging the phone. No. Don't call the police. I'm just a small-time goon. All I know is Brother Fan wanted me to record down everything here. Other than that, I honestly do not know anything else. Which Brother Fan are you talking about? Zhuang Bufan. Everyone was startled when they heard the name. Chinese Voodoo. Chapter 769, An Unexpected Guest. What? The person behind this wicked scheme is Zhuang Bufan. The crowd was baffled beyond belief, momentarily stunned. After that, they nodded and started to voice out their thoughts. It must be him. As Brother Chen is so damn popular now, Zhuang Bufan is afraid of losing his status and popularity in the entertainment industry. That is why he wants to take Brother Chen down as soon as possible. Right. Zhuang Bufan definitely has the motive to do this kind of despicable stuff. And this is not the first time. This piece of shit is really something. Not only does his bastard refuse to work his way up to become better, but he was also actually planning to bring down his colleague. What a shameless asshole. It was obvious everyone knew that Zhuang Bufan's personality was beyond salvation. The crowd's conclusion was that the mastermind was definitely Zhuang Bufan. Judging from Director Zhou's look, I'm pretty sure that his tame head is caused by a spiritual hexworm. Usually, the only way for a spiritual hexworm to get inside a person's body is from the mouth. Did Director Zhou recently consume any food that is prepared by the Zhuang family? Yes. Last night, Zhuang Bufan told Director Zhou that his family wanted to have dinner with him. I'm pretty sure they did something to the meal, said one of the bodyguards. Upon hearing that, everyone nodded their heads angrily. Call the police now. We have solid evidence to prove that Zhuang Bufan is the one that committed this crime. We have to make Zhuang Bufan pay for what he did to us, said Feng Yalun in a determined manner. But I don't think the police can do anything to the Zhuangs, said Tang Mengguan. We still have to report this crime to the authorities no matter what. At least the police will try to pin this crime on Zhuang Bufan with the solid evidence that we provide to them. Even if the police chooses not to deal with them, I still want to make sure that Zhuang Bufan will never be able to work in the entertainment industry anymore. Everyone was shocked after hearing Song Qinchen's claim. Like a queen, Song Qinchen would make sure those that hurt Chen Xiaobei would get what they deserved. Once this incident was made known to the public, Zhuang Bufan would become the entertainment industry's enemy. Chen Xiaobei's fan club alone would be enough to bring him down. In the name of justice, there were a lot of people in the society who would definitely boycott him if they knew about this incident. It was apparent that the decision that Song Qinchen made was really smart and ruthless. The crowd could not help but think that Song Qinchen was not the kind of iron lady that one should mess with. Likewise, going against Chen Xiaobei would definitely not a smart move either. With mixed emotions, Tang Mengguan suddenly realized that there was a huge gap between her and Song Qinchen. Maybe that was why Chen Xiaobei chose to be together with Song Qinchen instead of her. At that moment, Tang Mengguan started to think that it might be impossible to become Chen Xiaobei's mistress. We have one more problem here. How are we going to dispel this tame head? I heard this is supposed to be some kind of black magic. I don't think the hospital can help us with it. Everyone nodded after what Feng Yalun said. At the same time, Zhou Jianjin's bodyguards were looking worried as well. They knew that Director Zhou was a good man as he had been treating them like his own family. They would not be able to live with that fact that if something bad happened to him. Just when Chen Xiaobei wanted to say that he could dispel tame head, he was interrupted by two people that were about to enter the room. I can help. A young man that was around 24 years old in a traditional costume of one of the rare tribes in the country. This good-looking person walked with an air of confidence. With his amber-colored eyes, he looked like a manga character. This person was none other than Tai Yitan, the one that challenged Chen Xiaobei some time ago. Today, he did not bring along the group of 12 people in black robes with him. Only a 6.5 feet baldy was following behind him. Judging from the bullhead tattoo on the baldy's head, one could tell that he was one to be trifled with. When he made an eye contact with Chen Xiaobei, respect and fear could be seen reflected from his eyes. Clearly, this person was the one that looked down on Chen Xiaobei earlier, Teng Niu. During his last trip to Beixian faction, he acted in an arrogant manner and Chen Xiaobei managed to teach him a good lesson by landing slaps on his face. "Why are you guys here?" asked Chen Xiaobei in a curious manner. In actuality, Chen Xiaobei did not hate them. "Staying in Dragon City is pretty boring. And we heard that you are going to have a meet and greet event. That is why we decided to come here to check it out," said Tai Yitan. "We were sitting among the crowd. There were a lot of people here just now. Probably that was why you didn't notice us," Teng Niu added. "Maybe my question is not clear enough. Why did the two of you come rushing to the backstage after the meet and greet event is over? Could it be that you foresaw that someone is affected by tame head?" Faction leader Chen, you are really good at analyzing situations. Actually, I came here to ask you to teach me your lightning summoning skill. That is my true purpose. Coincidentally, I can help you with your current problem. You will not be able to reject teaching me when you owe me a favor. Alright. Give it a try then. I want to see what a young witch master can do. During their last encounter, Chen Xiaobei was really interested in Tai Yitan's witch tribe's origin. With this given opportunity, Chen Xiaobei would be able to witness the difference between modern black magic and ancient black magic. Immediately, Tai Yitan strode towards Zhou Jianjun. Upon seeing that, the crowd was clueless about the things that Chen Xiaobei and Tai Yitan just said. Xiaobei. This is... Feng Yalun could not help but ask. This is my friend. Don't worry. I will bear full responsibility if something bad happens. Everyone then relaxed after Chen Xiaobei gave them assurance. However, Zhou Jianjun's bodyguards were still feeling worried and nervous. After all, they thought that there was nothing Chen Xiaobei could do if something bad really happened to Zhou Jianjun. Faction leader Chen. I know that your lightning summoning skill is really powerful. However, I don't like the things that you said. Our young witch master started practicing black magic when he was still a kid. He is one of those incredibly rare geniuses of our tribe. And this is just an ordinary tame head. He can dispel it with his eyes closed. I don't think you've learned your lesson yet. Don't boast it. If not, you will be slapped by your own words later. Crap! Tai Yitan's sudden exclamation made everyone jump. That's right girl, you not worthy X. Chapter 770, Check on Beidou. What was going on? Everyone turned around and looked at Tai Yitan. Nothing was allowed to go wrong when it came to saving one's life. Chen Xiaobei frowned and went to check it out as well. After all, he was the one that vouched for him. What? What is going on? Teng Niu was taken aback. Seconds ago, he complimented Tai Yitan for being a genius. He did not expect that there would be problems dispelling the tame head. It appeared he was about to get a slap on his face with his own words then. The spiritual hexworm that the person used on this old man belongs to Azure Witch faction that I'm in. I will need Chinese Katsura wine, mystical flower, Obsidian Sierra herb to dispel this tame head. Unfortunately, I do not have all these herbs with me right now. And it's not easy to obtain all these rare ingredients. I'm afraid this old man will lose his life if we delay the treatment for too long. What should we do now? I have not heard of all those medical ingredients that he mentioned. Their eyes bulged slightly as none of them had any clue about the ingredients Tai Yitan mentioned. Judging from the names, they knew that those were some rare ingredients. It was impossible to get them from the city. How dare the person plant a spiritual hexworm on this person? Traitor! This is more complicated than I thought it would be. We can only use certain medical ingredients to dispel the tame head. Other than that, I don't think there's another way to deal with it. Teng Niu said with a puzzled and frustrated look. What should we do now? We will never be able to live in peace if something bad happens to Director Zhou. All his bodyguards wailed in anguish as they lost all hope. If Zhou Jianjun died, all of them would be penalized and put under investigation. This was the kind of ending that they would not be able to escape. Mr. Please think of some other ways to save him. Director Zhou is a respectable elder. He does not deserve this, said Tang Mengguan. I'm sorry. I apologize for my lacks of knowledge to deal with this problem. There's really nothing I can do about it. Unless the ancient witch descends from heaven to save him, I would still need the ingredients that I mentioned just now to keep him alive. Upon hearing that, everyone lost all hope immediately. It was impossible to look for all the ingredients that Tai Yitan needed in such a short period of time. It was even more impossible to look for the almighty ancient witch to help them. Xiaobei. What are your thoughts? I think it's time to make a solid decision. Feng Yalun said despairingly. Promptly, everyone paid attention to Chen Xiaobei. After all, he was the one that promised that he would bear full responsibility. Everyone in the room was in an uproar, they could only place their hope in him. Xiaobei. What? What are you trying to do? Everyone was startled when they turned around and looked at Chen Xiaobei. As Zhou Jianjun was about to die, everyone felt extremely nervous about it. On the other hand, Chen Xiaobei acted like everything was fine. All he did was playing with his cell phone. The crowd could not help but frown. I thought he made a promise that he would take full responsibility. He is so unreliable. How dare he kid around with saving one's life? I have thought too highly of this kid. A man with zero sense of responsibility is the worse. Xiaobei. Feng Yalun felt really nervous. He then shouted at Chen Xiaobei once again. Don't worry. I'm checking on Beidou now. Soon, I will be able to look for a cure. Beidou? What? It was a facepalm moment when they heard him say that. They thought that his idea was absolutely ridiculous. Tai Yitan and Teng Niu almost coughed out a mouthful of warm blood. Faction leader Chen. You are a great man. But you can't just simply spout such nonsense. Tamehead is no joke. Even my master said that he can't dispel is right here right now. And you are telling us that you can find a solution on Beidou. Even the peaceful and calm Tai Yitan could not help but explode. Are you trying to say that everything that I learned throughout the 10 years is not comparable to the information that you can get on Beidou? You are embarrassing me. I don't mean that. Don't overthink it. Chen Xiaobei then continued to play with his cell phone after replying Tai Yitan. Telling others that he was searching for information from Beidou was actually an excuse. In truth, he was asking Taiyi and True Deity for ways to dispel Tamehead. In front of Taiyi and True Deity, the ancient witch that Tai Yitan mentioned just now was nothing. Taiyi and True Deity had told Chen Xiaobei the way to dispel the Tamehead that he encountered. Soon, he could start helping Zhou Jianjun. You do mean it. You need to apologize to my young witch master if you fail to dispel the Tamehead. Teng Niu said disgruntledly. I shall say yes to you since you insisted on it. I will apologize to him if I fail to do so. What if I manage to do it? This. Taken aback, Teng Niu did not dare to make any decision for Tai Yitan. If you can dispel this Tamehead right in front of me, I'm more than willing to call you my Saifu. Tai Yitan said grimly. Upon hearing Tai Yitan's decision, Teng Niu's widened in surprise. When it came to cultivation, Tai Yitan could be considered as the most talented genius in the whole of China. And when it came to black magic, Tai Yitan was definitely a genius that could absorb everything that taught to him like a sponge. The most important thing was Tai Yitan was 2 years older than Chen Xiaobei. The entire Miaozhong would be shaken if Tai Yitan called Chen Xiaobei his Saifu. Although the crowd did not know what was going on, they could guess that this young witch master was no ordinary people based from the way that Tai Yitan acted and his powerful follower Teng Niu. He. So, you want me to become your Saifu? Dream on. Not everyone can become the disciple of Chen Zufeng. Bastard. Don't be so arrogant. You should feel honored that my young witch master wants to become your disciple. Do you really think that you are worthy enough to become his Saifu? What an arrogant idiot. Teng Niu. Watch your mouth. We should just stand aside and watch him dispel the Tamehead since he is so filled with confidence. Are we really blind as a bat? Or is he just boasting about his abilities? Soon, we will be able to find out. Right. You are right. Let's the result speak for us. Bastard. We will be watching how you are going to dispel Tamehead. Don't blame us for slapping you in the face if you fail to do so. Chen Xiaobei did not respond to him and instead stared at him mockingly. Face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy.